You take lead. Think the delemgan did all that? Or maybe the land itself? Quiet as the depths.
Welcome, visitor. It has been so long since one of your kind has walked in this grove. Strange, as this is your home. Yes, that is the home you know. But why have you come to this place? A curious thing for Kith to want. Even one as special as you. It belonged to one who tended this grove for longer than I have been here. Sickness changed them, as it has recently changed so many creatures in these woods. It no longer recognized us as their kin. We had to stop them before their madness damaged the land. When we become enemies of the land, it goes against our nature. We had no choice. But it is over now. All that remains is their heart. Our kind has no need for such remembrances. It would cause us no pain to part with it. Take it, and go in peace.
I can't believe you pulled that off. Now, let's get out of here before she notices my wood pistol grip.
You've returned. There is no...
Let's take these things back to camp. You can fiddle. You can fiddle with them there.
Look at that. After you, Envoy.
Keep quiet.
and raw. Seal me. Luthen. Sealness metal.
Nothing like a win with a good team. Right behind you. I felt that one.
Well, that was fun.
Silmes mito.
Show me what you got. You.
Then raw. You fail. Silmes mitu.
Okay?
Silmes mitu. Luten.
Appreciate it.
Earth and rock. Luten. Earth and rock. Luten.
We make a good squad.
good fighter.
Oh, hey, it's...
Stand back.
Aye, aye.
next time.
You have the heart. Excellent. For an Adiran, you're very resourceful, and a more than capable companion for poor Giada. Nature is as stubborn as ever, I see. Fair enough. Here's payment for your troubles. Now that I've got the heart, my thirsty invention will drink deeply of its essence. All that's left to do is calibrate it. First things first, let's have a look at your soul. I'm going to ask some questions to induce a metaphysical quiver. No, not to worry, just testing your reflexes. Let's start with an easy one. You wake up on a beach, looking up into the sun. Your hands are covered in blood. It's less of a question and more of a stimulus. As long as you're honest, there's no wrong answer. All right. Let's try some word association. Tell me the first thing that comes to mind. Pendulum. Chrysalis.
Spark ignites a flame. An idea ignites a war.
Hello? You still with me? Good. We're getting somewhere. Hey, let's go over your results. Your soul is like a piece of sea glass. All the edges are smoothed down. Quite beautiful, really. Your godlike nature is a marvel to behold. Not to besmirch a colleague, but Watchers aren't the most reliable sources. What I see is something entangled about your soul. An outside presence that both is and isn't a part of you. It's old, dark, and rather tricky to pin down. Very interesting. That would be closer to Giata's area of expertise. I'm sure she'd love to give you a look. Fascinating. Thank you for getting my machine calibrated again. But you came for Giata's theory of the Dream Scourge. Between the two of us, she's on to something. Our farms are in great peril. The essence has been drained from the land. diverted, like the flow of a river. Exactly. And if I know essence, it can't have gone too far. All I can tell you is keep looking. You'll find what you're after. As much as I hate giving people bad news, that's all I have. Please give Giata my fondest regards.
Keep looking, huh? I'm getting a bad feeling about what we'll find.
Yeah, I'll be honest. He lost me when we started talking about souls.
What did I miss?
Strange how the heart remains warm after. After death.
Ado, welcome to my finest step. Welcome back.
I hope you aren't afraid of lightning. Where there's animancy, there's bound to be lightning. And you got his machine up and running. That's what I call progress. I helped Monto after his wife died. She was brilliant, and he took the loss hard. I'm going to miss him. Sounds like you've met with everyone. We're ready to get started. So, did you learn anything of particular interest? Makes sense. You won't find a better source of energy. Look at us. Barely even started, and already we're making progress. Monto's machine is working, Elia will keep an eye on her revenants, and Yvette and Remy are providing us an alibi. Under the circumstances, the two are not so different. I needed those animancers for more than their expertise. Monto's invention nullifies spiritual interference. Having it up and running means we won't get any false signals. Whenever I tap into an Adra pillar, Elia's farmhands tend to get a little bitey. Thanks to you, they won't be a problem. And then there's Yvette and Remy, the governor's eyes and ears. In exchange for privacy, I gave them a test subject. I'd call that a good day's work. Absolutely. I wanted to see the Dream Scourge through different perspectives. Thanks to you, I have. Now we just need the right equipment for the job. When my parents died, they left me their life's work. An invention like no other. The phantasmal focus. Think of it as a spiritual tuning fork, or a dowsing rod. It has many functions. Some more obvious than others. The problem is it's in the basement. I haven't gone down there since the accident. Since they died.
I can't blame you for avoiding a place like that.
I would get it myself, but I'm not ready to face what's down there. Terrible mistake. The door to the basement is just outside. Around the corner. Of course you'll need a key. Please excuse the mess. I don't go into the lab anymore.
If that's where her parents died, I'm glad we can spare from having to go back.
Okay, walking into the basement. Don't know what I expected, but this isn't it.
Haven from the Blight. Who grows here?
I feel pretty certain that those people aren't supposed to be plants.
What a horrific fate.
Beauty reborn. A life of peace.
Gods. We can leave now, right?
Poor Giada. To think she's been living with this right under her nose.
I don't. Anyone know what happened back there?
I think those were Giada's parents, or whatever's left of them.
So they're dead?
Or something like that.
Gods. I can't believe this.
You're back. You found it. You actually found my inheritance. Did you see my mother and father? Are they still there? Nothing so malicious, but no less cruel. All that's really down there is an unhappy memory. One that keeps on growing. For the time being, that would be best. With the phantasmal focus, I can finally tap directly into the essence of the living lands. I can also use it to smack around anyone who gets in our way. Don't worry, it's more durable than it looks. Kind of like me. The only thing we're missing now is an Adra pillar, and I know the perfect one. Naku Tedek, the old godless ruin west of Fjord. There should be some equipment waiting for us. We used it to study the Adra pillar. Then some priests moved in and took offense at our work. I hope they haven't tampered with the equipment, or this will be a very short experiment. That ragged thing? It's as dry as a bone. Hardly any essence left. Even if it wasn't, I'm not exactly welcome in the workshop these days. Naku Tedek is special. I used to play there as a child and take rubbings of the memorial plaques. Historians think it may have once been a burial ground, a place where souls can return to the earth. So, we kept the tradition alive. Many of our founders are buried there, though not all of them, as you discovered. Well, that covers everything. Let's go. The Dream Scourge can't hide for long. Before we head out, let's make the most of our time in Fjord. No telling how long we'll be gone. I almost forgot. Someone gave me a letter for you. They said it was for the Envoy's eyes alone. I may have glanced at the handwriting. Don't worry, your secrets are safe. And I hate to be a problem, but I do my best work in small groups. Chalk it up to performance anxiety.
Ah, finally, some time to rest my feet.
Once we're all together, we should trade ghost stories. Best way to get acquainted. In the meantime, let's be off.
I see that jet has taken you.
I cannot thank you enough for your help.
Darling, look. Isn't my new vase just beautiful?
Ah, beautiful indeed. Its very presence brings on the color of your eyes. But is it not too similar to the other artifacts you've collected over the years?
The artifacts have been here longer than you, my love. And here, they'll stay. Did you still need something, dearie? Well... when a man and a woman love each other very much...
That's probably enough detail for now. I am sure the Envoy can use their imagination.
Oh, I couldn't help myself. The joke was right there, my love. The short answer is that I moved in here with Quilici several decades ago, and he's yet to tire of me.
Ah, I could never grow tired of you, but I do often grow tired with you. The distinction is important.
Music to my ears. We'll speak later then.
I'm afraid we missed introducing ourselves in the middle of all the squabbling. I'm Pere Quilici, Fior's senior-most animancer. My apologies for that little display earlier. The pleasure is mine. I met my fair share of godlike Invalia, but they are a rare sight in Fior. But you're different than those I've encountered. Perhaps your appearance here is not a coincidence. Rationality without feeling only leads to ruin. I learned that the hard way. The gods do not touch a soul lightly. You are wise to enlist Giata's help. She's my brightest pupil and has yet to be jaded by experience.
Don't give me too much credit. I'm getting pretty cynical in my old age.
To be honest, I don't know what Fior would be without you. Now, I must return to my ruminations. Without Vidarro's support, we must reassess our goals. It was a pleasure, godlike.
Don't ruminate too hard. Also, be sure to take your morning walk, and use the handrails.
How is Giada?
I don't trust him. Talks
She
too
is
much.
brave,
Says too little.
On the inside, I fear there is something missing, or perhaps broken beyond repair.
Oh, the poor dear. I can't believe Vidarro wouldn't listen. Not even to such a strong, smart, handsome man speaking sense.
Our governor is a fool. You are the only authority to whom I answer. Be careful. Thankfully, our governor had the presence of mind to warn me himself. The Steel Garrote can only mean trouble for the likes of us, even if we're just minding our business. Do you truly think the Empire would give up that easily? The Steel Garrote are a powerful enemy. They'd follow you to the ends of Eora if it meant righting a wrong. These so-called paladins act in accordance with the will of their god. Nothing we do or say will stop them. Still, you were smart to warn the governor, and he'd be smart to listen.
Did you still need... Music?
On.
Where do you go after? I was never here. Don't trust any man, see?
I hope no one minds. I made myself at home.
Don't mind at all. It's good to have you. Tell us a bit about yourself, Giada.
Let's see. A few things. Things about me. I am... enjoy long conversations, and my favorite season is autumn. Apparently, I also snore, which annoys some people.
So do I. Glad it won't just be me now. We should pitch our tents on either side of Marius. The drone really helps him sleep.
Right, that's me. And the first rule of camp is never listen to Kai. He's a blessed Nimdude of the highest order.
If anyone needs their soul tinkered on, don't hesitate to ask. I'm rather good with souls.
I'll take your word for it.
Envoy? Hard to imagine what Giada's going through right now, with her parents and all that. I mean, I have no idea what actually happened there, but she lost her people. She'll need time to get past that. And she deserves it. Right, changing the subject? Right, go ahead. Giada's a mystery to me. Animancers give me the freakus, and for good reason. Most of them would just as soon turn your soul into jewelry as look at you. Giada seems different. She's smart, thoughtful, and she's got a spine, too. You can tell when someone needs extra help out here, and she doesn't. So, yeah, I don't understand her, but I guess I don't have to, really. Ask away. I think you know almost... Not sure what else to tell you. Let's see. You already know everything there is. I think you know almost... Not sure what else to tell... Right. Right. Go ahead. As you know, Kai and I have worked together in the past. It's a blessed miracle he never got me killed. Honestly, he's a good guy. A bit too... Tell him I said that, I'll cut a hole. Not before I've done some reading.
These animancers don't agree on much, do they? You'd think arguing is a communal pastime. Only that they seem to love it. If you asked any two of them which way's north, you'd get 3 different answers. It's a wonder Fjord stood this long. Fair enough. I always thought adversity was supposed to bring people together, but they couldn't be more divided. They're stuck between a crop blight, a skeptical governor, angry farmers, and about as hostile an environment as you can find. And half of them seem more interested in pursuing their personal projects than dealing with the blight. The freedom to seek, not the freedom to starve. But I don't know how you guarantee one without risking the other. Shoot. You're asking me? Okay, who do... She's got a lot of heart, and she's loyal to her people and their principles, even when it costs her. Giada's lost her home, but kept her resolve. It takes a special kind of person to weather what she has and emerge stronger for it. She'll have a lot to figure out after all this, but she's gonna be okay. I noticed that too. It says a lot. I can't say what I'd want the future of Animancy to look like, but there's no one I'd trust more than Giada to figure it out. Sure. I'll tell you. So... You've heard every... Holler if you need anything else.
I wish you could have seen Emerald Stair in better times.
What was it like? I've only passed through a few times over the years.
The evenings were cool. Fish leaped into our nets. Emerald Stair was everything.
Pleasant and abundant. Sounds like the fables old trenchers used to tell about Deadfire. Paradise.
Thank you again for letting me join you. An Animancer never misses an opportunity to embrace the unknown. Still, being an Animancer feels different without Fior Messiverno. For the first time, I don't have to prove myself to anyone. You're forgetting all the bridges I burned on my way out. No, that part of my life is over. At least now I have a place I can call my own. Such a troublemaker. But a thoughtful one. Not to change the topic, but this little adventure of ours, will it be dangerous? A little bit of trouble in moderation can be good for the soul. My mother and father taught me how to defend myself, among other things. When you need me, I'll be ready. I hope so, anyway. I'll tell you... Let me think. Quilici has a girlfriend, as cute as a button, and as smart as an archmage. That isn't a secret. I'm just happy for him. Have you heard of the incident at Beldereno Pass? 20 settlers lost their lives in a winter storm. Ever since, people have heard ghostly cries from a nearby cave. Fascinating, isn't it? Tragic, of course, but fascinating. Sorry to disappoint you. Being an outcast means being out of the loop. Ah, you want a story? Very well. Settle in. It all started about 50 years ago, in the great city of Spirento. a young nobleman by the name of Maxim Vidaro sought to inherit a distinguished government position. We'll get to that. A distant cousin cheated Maxim out of the title. He was devastated, his political future uncertain. No one lifted a finger to help. Not the banks, not the merchants, or the politicians. So, Maxim did what Valians do best. Maxim plotted his revenge. They say he prayed to Scan, the effigy, god of rebellion and defiance, to ask for a blessing. And Scan answered. Take their best and brightest, their heirs, their scholars, their futures, to the far side of the world, never to return. And Maxim did just that. He gathered a following and left the Valian republics, giving thanks to his dark god. Spirento was full of animancers, many of them in debt, and Maxim was a wealthy patron. They needed each other. So the animancers followed Maxim all the way out here, including my parents, Quilici, and others around town. At the time, this place was an animancer's dream. No oversight, limited government, and soil rich with essence. 40 years later, Maxim vanished. They say the effigy came to collect his soul. Of course, you and I know better. He died peacefully, content that what he made would outlast him. His son has been in charge ever since, for better or worse. I have good reason to be critical, but I also know his life isn't as easy as it looks. He and I might squabble in public from time to time, but we're both just figuring it all out as we go. Thanks for listening. We should do this again.
I love a good ghost story. Just not the dreams I have afterwards.
Hadn't heard all that before. Probably a lesson or two in there.
One of these days you'll have to tell me an Adiran ghost story. You learn a lot about people by what scares them. Sorry, being an... What are you so... A simple question with a very complicated answer. The device is attuned to the spiritual energy of the living lands, much like a compass to magnetic north. But essence is chaotic by nature. As you saw with your own eyes, imposing order on chaos is not without risk. Indeed. Don't get me wrong. This invention is a small miracle, but it isn't enough. The phantasmal focus was supposed to be the start of something grand. One lever of a device that exists only in theory. Perhaps it should remain that way. Now that you mention it, I did try and awaken my soul, to become fully aware of my past lives. Every animancer tries, and fails. It's practically a rite of passage. So, one evening, I crept into the workshop and cobbled an invention together from spare parts. Amateur work. Then I turned it on. Big mistake. The next thing I knew, it was morning. I was floating in the fountain, and my head was pounding like a drum.
You don't need animancy for that. Just rum and a crew on shore leave.
That answers a lot of questions, honestly.
Sometimes I wonder, what if it actually worked? What if all of this happened before, and I'm just reliving the events of a past life? I try not to think about it too much. That little island off of Dawnshore? None that I know of. Ignato Casto led the Valian trading company in the Deadfire archipelago. Among other things, he invested in the future of animancy, and apparently he had interests here. He had some ideas about moving great distances in the blink of an eye. As far as I know, he was unsuccessful. Animancy and ambition are a dangerous mixture. Intoxicating, but dangerous. Afraid not. I've heard a lot of contradictory stories coming out of the Deadfire in recent years. Some say Castle is still in power, while others think his second-in-command took over the Valian Trading Company. You know how it is. Wherever there's conflict, there's bound to be misinformation. I hope not. I wouldn't want my family associated with speculation, corruption, and whatever else happened in the Deadfire. We have enough problems already. Unfortunately, that's all I know. Whether or not Castle succeeded, I don't think it's folly to dream. I suppose you deserve to know, after what I put you through. My mother wanted to expand Fjord's agriculture. Feeding Emerald Stair wasn't ambitious enough. She wanted to feed the world. She thought she could break the wilderness, using animancy as the whip. Turn the living lands into a garden. That's putting it lightly. After my father put the finishing touches on the phantasmal focus, she was impatient to get started. After all, whoever controls the spirit of the living lands has nature in the palm of their hand. She was very kind, but there were days when she lived in her head, and days that stretched into weeks. Emerald Stair was just the beginning to her. My father thought she was brilliant. Others thought she was mad. I think she was a victim of her own ambition. She wanted so much, and there was so little time to achieve it. Theoretically, her plan should have worked. But the living lands had other ideas. When she used the phantasmal focus, theory collided with reality. Everything went wrong. No. To my knowledge, the accident was no everyday occurrence. But neither was the experiment. My mother transgressed on nature, on existence itself. Still, I don't understand what went wrong. When I do, then I can finish her work. I can't rule anything out, but I suspect the Dream Scourge had something to do with it. It lives in the essence of the living lands, corrupting whatever it touches. And if I'm right, that means it's been here a long time, or the forces behind it. I was 17. That makes it... Gods, has it been 13 years already? After they died, I wouldn't go near a lab. It was ages before Quilici got me to crack open a book. I have a lot of catching up to do in my studies. Need to make up for lost time. My mother and father didn't know the risks, and I can't stop thinking about them. Caution and experience will stop us from repeating their mistakes. That's all I care to say for now. At least, about this topic. I thought my family's research could help Emerald Stair. That it could banish the Dream Scourge from our lands. Of course, Vidaro wouldn't even give me a chance. He was afraid of history repeating itself. Still, I'm hopeful. This legacy of mine could change animancy as we know it. And something tells me I'm close to a breakthrough. Closer than my mother ever got. I hardly think your Emperor would approve. Good thing he's on the other side of the world. No Animancer has engineered an ecosystem before. Maybe, with a little luck, I could be the first. Anyone in particular? I warn you, I'm not the best judge of first impressions. Kai is a useful fellow. We need people like him to keep you grounded. Just not too grounded. On the surface, Kai is all charm and confidence. You feel good knowing he's around. But there's something deeper. Something in his core that he guards from everyone. Maybe even himself. Oh, not at all. Kai is a sweetheart. And if that's who he chooses to show us, then that's who he is. If there's another side to him, he'll show us when he's good and ready. No need to rush a natural process. Marius is working through something. An old wound that hasn't healed. A search for forgiveness? Who knows? He's a tough fellow, but I wouldn't put too much pressure on him. We're all wounded. That's the price of survival in the living lands. Just look at you. Only just got here and you died in the line of duty. You may not be from the living lands, but the island left you a scar to remember. Now, you're just like us. We haven't been together long, but I think I have you figured out. In Paradise, you have a reputation for being an unlawful misfit. This is the frontier, after all. We don't exactly do things by the book. Fior Messiverno tolerates you well enough. No doubt thanks to my influence. Of course, all I know is what you've done. You may not think these choices reflect who you are. At the end of the day, you shouldn't care what anyone thinks. All that matters is how you see yourself. I've spilled all the gossip I know. Ask me again when there's a new face in camp. What's on your... If I must. I can't believe it. Ranger Dorso, a traitor to Fior Messiverno. Shame we had to kill her. But at least now she can't hurt anyone else. The damage is contained. More or less. Usually, my people send traitors into exile. Let nature sort them out. Exile in the living lands is not the worst fate a criminal can suffer, but it's close, and always deserved. Still, it's a shame. Dorso gave up on the dream of Fior Messiverno. Blamed animancers for the problems we tried to solve. And I hate to see anyone lose hope. That's all for now. Let me know if there's anything else. If I must. Between the two of us, thank you for helping Yatsli reach that vase. Maybe it seems like nothing to you, but to her it's everything. When you consider how many Orlans and dwarves there are, it's outrageous that we build so high off the ground. If only all of our adventures were that straightforward. Don't let her size fool you. On the inside, Yatsli stands as tall as a mountain. One of these days, she's going to change the world, shake things up. And I'll be at her side, grinning like a fool. Anyway, thanks again. Until next time.
Did they not glow in the light? Her parents, her sentinels. To grow and flourish still, life without rot, form without death. The lake dries. Prune the bellflowers. Why should anything wilt? Endless spring. They breathe, they flower, they will never fade. Apple into seed. We think not. They have blossomed now. They sing in peace. Was it not worth the change? Do we not? the bear would have spent its days in the wood. They are strong now, vibrant, better than their frail shells. More than alive. No suffering. No end. Sleep now. Dream of beauty and new life. We will speak soon.
Try not to give me any trouble today, Giata.
There should be some equipment by the Adra pillar. Well, here we are on the precipice of discovery. Armed and ready for mischief.
I'm 2 out of 3 anyway.
Before we get started, indulge me. What are you excited to learn about? We'll get to that and more, I promise. Now, I'm going to tap into the pillar's dormant energy and give it a good shake. In layman's terms, I'm chumming the water and daring the Dream Scourge to show its ugly face. This is no time for hesitation. All right. Drawing on the energy of the phantasmal focus, I'll start with a low-frequency ethereal vibration. I've got nothing. You?
Like I could go for some pie.
Shit. All right, adjusting the frequency. The focus is warming up. I hope that's a good sign. Let me know if you feel something. Who knows how your godlike nature will react to this. Brace yourself. We're going to pin this bastard down.
Are you sure about this?
Don't worry, I'm a professional. Now, here goes nothing.
Souls in a circle, a whirlpool. We twine. We twine.
Hey, I think I got something. The focus twitched, like a fishing rod. Is that a door? Not the result I was looking for, but a result nonetheless. Hold on to that feeling. We might need it again. Right before the door opened, I detected something in the Adra. I was right. The Dream Scourge has a point of origin. We can study the affliction from here, but I don't know that we can stop it. Oh dear. How do I explain? Imagine tossing a pebble and hoping it flattens a blade of grass on the other side of the world. That's what you're asking, and it won't work. There's an even greater chance we end up like my parents. Sorry, but no. If we want to stop the Dream Scourge, we still need to learn more about the source of the affliction. I hate to say it, but we'll get better results at the base of the pillar, where the energies are more potent. We shouldn't jump to conclusions. After you.
We gotta see what's down there now.
Gods! Did you open that door?
I've been praying here for ages. And in all that time, I've never found a way down to the lower levels. Not one. You're going down there, aren't you? I tell the acolytes to walk softly for a reason. Something is alive down there. Or if not alive, moving. Whatever it is, it knows only the depths. If you don't return, I'll tell the others what happened.
Don't leave out how tall, good-looking, and charming we all are.
I did not bring us here to explore, but clearly something wants to be found.
Does this feel like the start of a cautionary campfire tale to anyone else?
I wonder, did you open the door? Or did the door open for you?
You take lead.
Incredible. These ruins are untouched. We are the first to disturb them. When was the last time anyone walked these passages? It must have been centuries. No, millennia. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll talk more once we reach the bottom. Just a little spark. Charge it.
That looks like a piece of the thing you were fiddling with at camp. Right behind you.
Speed up! A little power goes a long way. Charge it up.
Here it comes.
No, the knife that pierces in the dark.
Whatever this is, at least it's dead. 2 points for the godless. Watch your head. It's a trap like the god.
Come on! Come on! Quick as a fox!
Luthen! Luthen Rock!
Who's ready for... Ready for more?
Beautiful. Life into death. To think it survived all these years.
It's surprisingly colorful. Not sure what I expected.
We've seen godless architecture before. But I've never seen godless art until now. Just imagine how much has been lost. We should keep moving. I don't mean to slow us down. Just a little spark. A little fire goes a long way. I would not go swimming if I were you, unless you wish to meet your maker. There must be a way across. If not underwater, perhaps over it, with the help of some ice. Just a little spark. Charging. Subtle as a mouse. What in the name of Aora is that?
You, think it's sleeping?
I've never seen anything like it before. I don't believe it's a statue. No, this was alive once. And the people who lived here... here were terrified of it. We're going to die down here, aren't we? Well, it was long.
On now!
Sealness me too.
That was a close one.
Defense is up!
We're going to die down here, aren't we? Well, have a good run.
Show me what you got!
Try.
You won't get through this!
Who's counting?
Not saying a word. Death into life. Interesting. The godless clearly had some ideas about reincarnation, even if they didn't have a god.
Every other culture I've come across reveres the gods, even if they give them different names and pictures.
Can you imagine life without any gods to guide your destiny? Without anyone shepherding you this way and that? Of course I can imagine it, but I'll wager you have a harder time.
They're having fun. Ready to make an entrance?
How did they even get down here? Clever things must have their own secret entrance. I'll say it, I'm impressed.
Worth and raw!
Looks like quite a fight. Let's break it out.
They won't get past me!
Any monsters left? Show yourselves. Some of us have work to do. I guess that means the coast is clear. Let's have a look at the Adra pillar.
Come, hear us through the Adra.
Charge it up. Little power goes a long way.
Find us.
We've backed the Dream Scourge into a corner. I say we pin it down here and now, before it wriggles away from us. The Godless erected many important sites around Pillars of Adra, though I can't speak to their motives. The last time we tried this, you felt something, yes? Maybe it had to do with your godlike nature. Try making contact with the Adra this time. It could only help. The effect should be stronger than before. Brace yourself.
You are here. You who bring us kind words and soothing thoughts. We welcome you. The mourners are gone now. Only the memories remain. Lonely, yes. None have asked after us in so long. We open to you as a bud before the sun. We once belonged to the green and the wild. A people lived there once. They loved us as we loved them. They brought their dead to us. We used to dip our fingers, wade in the confluence of souls. We felt the thrill of their wonder. We basked in their desire to know us. They brought their prayers to us. We answered. We do not remember how we grew. Our eyes opened. We were the earth, the sky, many into a whole. We touched the mountains and they molded to our fingerprints. The Akita twined around us. They sang in awe of what we made. They called us the gardener, steward of life. Sabado. Thinning frost. The morning sun. It has been centuries since anyone but us invoked our name. But we have felt in you the seed of connection. We have sought you, called to you. And you reach back. We have not known the joy of companionship in so long. A mistake, nothing more. We swear, we kept nothing from you. This prison clouds our mind, our memories as murky as fetid water. Find us, free us. The rot that festers seeps into us as well. Our cage is far from here, buried in the garden, beyond the poison sea. Would that we knew. Our jailers gave us no explanation. But perhaps the ancients who were beloved to us, perhaps they can quiet the questions in your mind. Go to the halls of the Tabaru Sinakis. We will try to explain. Those who cherish us, the chosen of the Akida, wait there. They will show you the way to the garden, to our prison. We will cleanse this rot with you once our hands are unbound. Find us in the garden. We twine, we await. First, let us offer you a sliver of our power, a boon to help you survive and find us. You rejected us once before. Let us lend our shade and strength, for your sake and ours. A mere drop in a lake, a drop of our blood, our sap, given to nourish you. We would never harm you, seed of our soul. We could not, even if we wished such cruelty. Your will remains yours. Will you accept it? A wasted gesture, then. It is yours to regret. Now hurry to the halls of the Tabaru Sinakis. Bind us. Free us.
You're awake. Finally. We really pushed the phantasmal focus to its limits.
You were out a long time. We gotta start bringing pillows.
For a second there, I thought... Actually, never mind what I thought. It's a good thing we got results, because I have no desire to put you through that again. While you were out, I got some clear readings of the Dream Scourge. I've tracked its origin to the center of the living lands, somewhere deep in the untouched wilderness. You've heard of it. Fascinating. Maybe someone knows about this garden of yours. If we find the garden, we can cut off the Dream Scourge at its source. I hesitate to bring it up, but you were muttering while you were out. Had quite a lot to say. Whatever you were communing with, it had a spiritual energy I've encountered before, though only in traces. It must be connected to the Dream Scourge. Perhaps they share a similar origin. Yes, Sapadal. Who are they? What are they to you? I'm sorry? Sapadal is a god? But that's impossible. How could we have missed this? A trapped god. Trapped. And you spoke to them through the Adra. Maybe that tells us something. Not the Adra itself, but how it comes together. We've long theorized that all Adra is connected, but that changed when Animancers came to the Living Lands. The Adra here is severed from the rest of Eora, connected only to itself, or so we believe. If Sapadal speaks and works through Adra, then the Living Lands is their prison, their tomb. Now that is a tall order. We know the Dream Scourge is coming from this garden of yours. Maybe Sapadal can help us fight it.
I got a headache just thinking about it. And I'm not the one with the god knocking around in there.
The real question is, where do I start? Doesn't ring a bell, but maybe someone's heard of it before. We'll find the source of the Dream Scourge in the garden, but we have to find the garden first.
Then that's where we start.
Let's return to Fior Messiverno. Banished or not, maybe I can squeeze a few answers out of my colleagues. Gods, I don't know. The farms, the community, my research, they all depend on animancy. But the Dream Scourge is the end of animancy, the end of the living lands as we know it. We should leave this place and its memories. There's nothing more for us here.
Finding a secret entrance and discovering a new god. Not bad for a day's work.
Wait. We smell the musk of war. We hear the clash of steel. We were sure they came. Was it the past?
I lost you for a second there. Something the matter? I don't like the sound of that. Let's go. You take the lead.
Come on. There's a way up those stairs.
Just a little spark. Charge it. A little power goes a long way. Just a little spark. There is such a thing as learning too much. The mortal mind can only take so many revelations at a time. What we discovered here, it changes everything.
A hidden god in the living lands. Who knew?
Oh my god. No!
Andra's depths. This was no accident.
What happened? Who did this? The city's under attack. Come, there isn't a moment to waste. I just hope Quilici is all right.
Something's burning. Doesn't look like the city, but let's make sure no one's hurt. One's hurt.
I can't believe this. All things considered, Messiverno looks undamaged. Surprising when you consider the state of our defenses. Whoever started this fight didn't come prepared to finish it. I will be happy to oblige them. Someone made a dangerous enemy today.
We'll fight them with you, Giada.
They break, they bind us.
I didn't see the attack, but I could hear it from afar. Sounds like the Rangers...
I hope everyone is all right. My people settled these lands in the name of freedom. It took 50 years, but our oppressors caught up to us. I hate living in interesting times.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Again and again they strike.
There's the city. Thank goodness. It's good to see home again, if only for a moment. Soon the Rangers will strengthen their defenses. They'll hunt down anyone behind the attack. I almost pity them.
Me too.
How many thorns must we claw out?
Those bodies are wearing steel garrote armor. Is this what Alfio was planning?
You did right by us. Thank you, Envoy.
Envoy, I owe you my gratitude, and perhaps an apology. They tell me you're the reason our city is standing. You took care of the steel garrote before they could cause any serious damage. We're keeping the sentries on high alert, but there's been no sign of a second wave yet. You warned me something like this might happen. At least we had time to brace for it.
No doubt your Inquisitor is aware of what happened here. You've made a powerful enemy.
We're a long way from Adir. You might find allies in short supply. As for us, we're still standing, but our enemies have little patience for failure.
We agree on one thing. The Steel Garrote have declared war on the Living Lands.
Call it what you like. This is an invasion of our sovereign territory.
What happened here is no coincidence. Their forces already have an unshakable grip on Paradis. Today marks a notable victory, but we've only bought ourselves time, not salvation. Tell us, what of your research into the Dream Scourge? Assuming our governor wants to hear it.
I may have spoken in haste before.
Pardon?
The very notion that the Dream Scourge had blighted our farms, it was too awful to acknowledge.
Are you being serious right now?
I am. The sanctuary my family built was falling apart on my watch. And I wasn't strong enough to bear it. Not for me, perhaps. You must understand. My mother is the Dream Scourge. I hoped against reason that she might recover, but her mind grew as blighted as her lands. To face reality would mean upending my city, throwing order into chaos, and admitting she was truly gone. I'm so sorry, Giata.
Don't waste your apologies on me. This changes nothing between us.
I don't expect your forgiveness, but I will do everything in my power to make this right. Whatever you have to say, I'm ready to hear it. What? And this is the source of our troubles? But this is madness. When I said I was ready for the truth, I didn't mean... Quilici, tell him it's madness.
Envoy, is it true?
You truly think you can find a god? I said I'd keep an open mind, but this is a bit much.
First the Dream Scourge, then the Steel Garrote, and now, what does this god of yours want us to do? Pray?
This is no time for a theological discussion. Our survival hangs on a knife's edge. We can't remain in Emerald Stair.
But we can return someday. Rebuild your father's legacy. We should relocate to Thirdborn. It's the only settlement that can take us all.
No. I say we go to Paradis.
And I want an explanation.
As long as we are Animancers, the adherents will pursue us to the ends of the earth. Instead, we lay low, hide in plain sight, let them believe we're beaten, and bide our time.
While we hide, the Dream Scourge will tear this island apart. At least in Thirdborn, we can practice animancy freely. We can't gamble with our existence. The political climate of the Living Lands is too dangerous.
Thirdborn's full of hardy types. Lots of former soldiers and mercenaries. A rough bunch, but good to have at your back. It's also farther from the Steel Garrote's base of operations. That's where I'd make my stand.
Thirdborn has its own problems. Paradis is more secure, but it would mean living under Adheran rule. I don't like our options, but that shouldn't stop us from committing to one.
We'll be proud to lend our strength to theirs, as Animancers and as fellow expatriates.
I have my misgivings, but you helped my father leave the Republics. I trust you to help us again. What of you, Envoy? Where does the hunt for the Dream Scourge take you next?
Oh, I do.
Yardsley? Don't tell me you are getting swept up in all of this.
Oh, really? You should know better, darling. Any talk of the Akita, and I will appear. If you're looking for the garden, I can probably lead the way. You're already aware that I'm the foremost Akedan scholar in the Living Lands, and...
Godless scholar, my dear. No one outside of academia uses their proper name.
Ah, right. Layman's terms. Thank you, darling. Well, to make a long story short, I think I can lead you to the garden. 30 years of research, and I think the answer lies in a ruin called Nakukubel, which is in Shatterscarp. So we've got to get there now. Though the city was saved, my research wasn't. Which means the Steel Garrote knows just as much as we do. Wait. If they know as much as we do, they know to go to Shatterscarp too. Oh no. I've got to warn Temerity. Meet me in Thirdborn, all right? You can't miss it. It's the only bit of civilization in Shatterscarp, if you can call it that. I'll finish getting ready here and just meet you there.
Ugh, what a whirlwind. God, I love that tiny woman. Naturally. She's feisty, passionate, loyal, determined. My life would not be the same without her.
For what it's worth, I vouch for Yatsley. She's a good friend, and a bad influence. Right now, we could use both.
There's a gate to the north, which will take you to Shatterscarp. It's guarded by some of our best rangers. I'll make sure they grant you safe passage. May the gods protect you, Envoy.
Exploring the Living Lands with a friend. What more could I ask for?
Back to Shatterscarp, then.
Well... I saw the Steel Garrote chase him down.
He's fine. Shaken. Terrified. Fine.
Thank the gods.
There's nothing left, Oimiko. Take a rest. You've certainly earned it.
Ado! Welcome back. Care to take...
Care to...
I knew the steel garrote. Garrote were up to no good.
No one ever plans anything nice in a hidden war camp, do they?
This isn't over, you know.
What have you found?
They call themselves the Akita. They worship this strange child.
Boudica will be displeased to hear it.
Boudica is never pleased. That is all I have. The rest is none of my concern.
Still, you refuse to take sides. This affects you too, you know.
I admit my sympathy. A group of exiles. A forbidden faith. But the Queen's tenuous favor... yes, compelling indeed.
The burned queen against a single settlement. If your question is one of power, the answer speaks for itself.
It does. Though I will say this. The Queen may have her motives. Sometimes standing idly by is greater subterfuge than action.
I hope this does not force all our hands.
Odds. I could roast a Ballarok on the energy coming off this thing.
Is it just me, or does the night seem darker here? Then I've... Sure. Good thing. You know where to find me.
Envoy, it's clear that no matter what happened, these people couldn't stay in Fior. Just not sure you did the right thing. These people won't survive long in a place like Thirdborn. That they are. I'm honestly surprised they survived out here this long. Who knows? Labs and machines? Yeah. Aren't my area of expertise. Maybe they're easier to build than I think. Right, changing the subject? Fine. You've been patient enough, I suppose. Right. Solace isn't an easy place to live. The food is stale and meager. The water tastes like steel and old meat. Everyone knows everyone else. No privacy, no silence, no time to yourself. Solace is a walled keep in the harshest region of the lands. Isolated is an understatement. Honestly, all of that was fine. But there was a peculiar kind of silence I didn't love. I have only the faintest memories of my parents, which was fine. I had friends and mentors and trainers and elders. When I asked about my real parents, though, they just told me I was safe now, and that the Wardens were my family. I never knew if my parents were alive or dead. I like to assume that they had died fighting some giant monster in the Tusks, but no one would say. When I asked for more, they changed the subject, like I wasn't worthy of a backstory. I mean, I know the important part. I'm from Solace, for whatever that's worth. My oldest memories are of Solace. My oldest friend is from there. Maybe, maybe not. I've learned to stop worrying about it. Right, go ahead. It's a blessed miracle. Honestly,
Tell him I...
ask. Let's... You are... Just more in... I think you... Not sure what I... Right. Thanks for talking. Envoy? Gods, I can't believe what's happening around here. Fjord was attacked when we weren't looking. It's a miracle it's still there. Right. I guess we did. Wish we could have done more. At least that's one more town the Steel Garrote failed to burn to the ground. That's... something. Right. Changing the subject. Not before I've done some reading.
We should talk. What happened to Fior Messiverno could have been worse. A lot worse. But that doesn't mean the Living Lands is safe. If anything, it's more dangerous by far. We never forgot. No matter where Animancers go, someone is always trying to kill us. Nothing enrages the gods more than mortals in pursuit of knowledge. I doubt they know the meaning of the word. They seem a little out of touch. Listen to me. A failed Animancer lashing out at everything in reach. Even with all the tools at my disposal. I couldn't stop the Dream Scourge. And I couldn't save my people. How do I live up to my family's example when I can't even help myself? Don't take this the wrong way, but you weren't raised by Animancers. Their ambition destroyed our family. Now it falls to me to find meaning in my parents' sacrifice. And I don't know if I can. I have some pondering to do. Let me know if there's anything else. Sending my people to Thirdborn. It's a good arrangement. They get a roof over their heads. The city gets Animancers. And everyone gets along. For once. We should try to harness that goodwill. Or replicate it, like an energy source. On the other hand, maybe not. Look, I know you didn't come to this island to help us. And yet you were here when others would have looked away. Despite everything that happened, it means a lot. In that case, let's go out there and make a good first impression. If you need anything, you know where to find me. I'll tell... sorry to being an... Go on. Well, my future is in shambles, and I have no idea what to do next. Oh, and my home is under attack by the acolytes of an insane witch god. Apart from that, fine. Truthfully, I'm a bit lost. Leaving Fior Messiverno was supposed to be liberating. We've seen and done incredible things, but I'm no closer to finishing my family's work. What I'm up against is much bigger than either of us. Through Animancy, I can harness the wild essence of the Living Lands and put it to good use. But what if I tried, only to have it lash out and destroy me? I'd be no better off than my parents. The Dream Scourge is infecting our Adra, holding back my work. Until I understand it, until I can control it. I can't do anything. I'm useless. I'm... nothing. Of course. I've heard that one before. Quilici always told me to slow down, to stop and appreciate the land I'm trying so hard to fix. But how can I slow down when I only have one lifetime to get this right? I'll find answers in the garden. For better or worse. Anything. Until next time. I hope Thirdborn is... is a good community for my people. They've been through a lot.
Thirdborn's rough around the edges, but it's full of good people. They'll... They'll have your back when you need it.
Survivors, in other words. In that case, maybe your kin are a good match for mine.
Come closer, Envoy. I'd like a word.
Gods.
A moment of your time, if you please. From one Adiran to another. I go where the Inquisitor commands, just as you go where the Emperor commands. You interfered in our plans. Take it from me, Inquisitor Ludwig isn't at all pleased. That's exactly why I've come to make amends.
You lost the fight for Emerald Stair, and now you ask for peace? Don't make me laugh.
Hear me out. That's all I ask. Believe it or not, the Steel Garrote owe you an apology on behalf of Inquisitor Ludwig.
Bring us her severed head, and I'll consider it.
That temperament of yours is exactly the problem she's trying to solve. Our soldiers were poised to attack Fior Messiverno. If you had been made aware, you would not have interfered. My intentions exactly. You might not want to admit it, but Fior Messiverno is a settlement in decline. Weak government, chaotic farming, dangerous research. What exactly do you think you saved?
My home, which you have no right to condemn.
You've done nothing but condemn it. Shouting matches with the governor, open defiance.
I fight for my home because I cherish it, you shit-eating worm. Because I want us to survive.
Then I hope you enjoy the consequences of your actions. Fjord Messiverno's reliance on animancy and stubborn individualism has done nothing but drag the living lands down with them. You're here for the health of the island, not the survival of one floundering outpost. Look, I'm only telling you this because you deserve to know Ludwig's intentions for the living lands. If Heelgard cannot maintain a grip on the living lands, then the Steel Garrote will simply take it from him. You see, the Steel Garrote answer to the Burned Queen, not your floundering empire. And we will break from Adir if that's what it takes. Because we have one thing in common. Inquisitor Ludwig sees something in you, Envoy. She wants to cultivate your potential, as she did mine. You don't want to get between her and the fate of the living land, so let this serve as a warning. Our grasp on this island is going to tighten, even if it costs us allies along the way. Acceptable losses. What you do with this information is up to you. But don't get in our way a second time. It won't end well. Perceptive. Maybe Ludwig was right about you. Before I let you go, a little bird sang in my ear that you're going to Shatterscarp.
You don't have to answer that.
Of course, that would have been impossible with these meddlesome rangers in the way.
You didn't.
I took the liberty of removing them. It's a shame, really. Honorable folk to the last. Ludwig told me to open a path for you by any means necessary, and that's exactly what I did. When you arrive in Shatterscarp, give this letter to Temerity. Compliments of the Inquisitor. No need to keep you any longer. Let's hope our next meeting is under more favorable circumstances. No need. She has both of hers on you. Be seeing you, Envoy. Sooner or later.
You've seen what happens when the Steel Garrote mess with Emerald Stair. I suggest you remember it.
Trust me, we will. Good luck with her, Envoy. You're going to need it.
I didn't think it was possible to hate someone this much.
I'm sleeping.
The Steel Garrote are never far.
You came to Emerald Stair looking for answers. And now we're leaving with more questions. How do we fight the Dream Scourge? What can we do about Sapadal? And where is the garden? Not to mention why the Steel Garrote attacked my fucking home. Did we? We were lucky this time. My people will be on high alert, but that doesn't mean we're safe. The Steel Garrote are hunting anyone who doesn't conform to their vision of the living lands. Our freedom is on the line.
So on top of the Dream Scourge rotting your fields and turning kith and beast alike into monsters, now we've got a Death Guard Inquisitor and the Steel Garrote dogging our steps. Do you think Ludwig will try something similar in Thirdborn? Thirdborn's a rugged place that attracts rugged people. Lots of Rawatayans, scramble routes with no prospects back home, washouts from military or mercenary life, sailors in search of steady ground. Add to that a motley assortment of pirates, free spirits, and people who like living under the loosest grasp of the law, and you've got Thirdborn. But rumor has it something's amiss in Shatterscarp. Strange dreams, disappearances, people wandering into the desert and never returning, or coming back, changed. That's what I'm afraid of.
At least that tells us we're on the right track. This Dream Scourge is one of the weirdest things I've ever tried to hunt. Town full of survivors. Anyone who decides to stake out a life in Shatterscarp isn't someone you want to mess with. Good enough people, though. And generally less likely to rob you or bore you to sleep than other places we've been.
Everything we learned in Naku Tadek points us to the garden. Thirdborn is just a stepping stone. But we don't know anything about the garden. It could be a myth or a metaphor. Whatever the garden is or isn't, it's our only lead. We find the garden, we find the Dream Scourge. Yatsley is a master of the unknown and the unknowable. No mystery eludes her for long. If there is a path to the garden, Yatsley can lead us to it. I'd follow her anywhere.
Or maybe that god poking around your soul could give us directions.
Ask for directions. Why didn't I think of that? Kai, that's brilliant. Whatever Sapadal tells us will be filtered through a lot of metaphysical noise, but it couldn't hurt to try. This is so exciting. Sapadal? It's Giada. Giada Castel. If you're listening, could you please tell us more about the garden?
Castel. Castel. Why does this name sing to us? A voice through murky water. The garden stifles the notes. We cannot reach. The branches bind.
Did you get anything? What? No. They must have confused me with someone else. Clearly your link to Sapadal isn't as strong as it was in Naku Tadek. But I'll take it over nothing.
I'll pass. I've heard too many ghost stories that start this way.
Right. If I wanted to waste time, that's what I carry a flute for.
Just me, then? Really? No one else has a question for the god of the living lands? Fascinating.
So let me see if I got this straight. We're looking for the garden, which might not exist. Our best lead is Yatsley, an eccentric scholar who's gone ahead to Thirdborn, where the Dream Scourge may be ravaging.
Don't look at me. I was fine going back to Paradise.
Listen, I hate to ask this, but while we're in Shatterscarp, there's something I need to do. Something I owe Tama. There's an old battlefield near some Pogrunan ruins. Area called the Shark's Teeth. Tama lost his badge there. I need to get it. Not a bit. For all I know, it's long gone anyway.
Better to keep moving forward, Kai. What's lost is lost.
Get some rest. Sleep is good for the soul. I wanted to say, for all of its imperfections, Fiorme Siverno deserves a second chance. Thanks to you, it has one. I won't forget it. I couldn't care less what they think. Just to be safe, we should remain vigilant. Sleep in shifts. Look after each other. Rest while you can. Our enemies are organized, but so are we.
Sleep well. We've got a long road ahead.
You smell death here.
Listen to me. Look here. Can you focus on my voice? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm just dizzy.
This may be the most foolish thing I've ever gotten myself into.
The envoy's killer has been found and allowed to go through. Guards declare no further danger.
You've got some god looking out for you.
Envoy, how can I help? Safe trap.
Envoy, an alarming report crossed my desk. One of our agents in Emerald Stair never reported back from his assignment. Well done. Naturally. Fior-Messi Verno is a problem for Adir, but we have subtler ways of dealing with problems. Some of us do, anyway. Inquisitor Ludwig is not among them. You've done the Empire a great service by carving out one of its many imperfections. I'd call that a job well done. Now, think nothing of it. Your job is to support the Empire, and mine is to support you, among other things. While you're here, will there be anything else?
Aren't you going to introduce us?
You must be the Animancer I've heard so much about. Every bit as outspoken as your reputation. Ambassador Falshin Heelguard, welcome to our modest embassy.
I wanted to see you for myself. The spider at the center of it all, hiding in his web.
Rest assured, Madame. I'm aware of what happened in Emerald Stair. My job is to prevent hostilities, not to provoke them.
We have nothing more to say to each other.
Envoy, need I remind you that traveling with an Animancer could be hazardous to your life, your very soul. I'll take your word for it then. But enough about unpleasant matters. Will there be anything else? I trust you.
Envoy, how can... Safe trap.
One of these days he'll stop leaving bones on the table.
This climate does not agree with me. At least it's a dry heat.